Today I'm going to be making the basil sauce with almonds and garlic. I have most of my ingredients out right here. I preheated my oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, it's still warming up. And I'm going to be putting the almonds on right now. So I measured out 3/4 cup of sliced almonds, and I'm going to put it in the oven once it finishes preheating, and I will come back to you once they've been roasted. While that's cooking, I'm going to prepare my onion. I'm going to chop it real quick. My roasted almonds, I just melted the butter. I'm about to turn off the heat. Here is my Stone Mill seasoned salt. I couldn't find my regular salt, so I'm going to use that. And then the butter I used was Great Value unsalted butter, 1 teaspoon. I don't have a blender, so here's what the almonds look like after I rolled them out for a while. I'll probably do it a little bit more, but here's what the roasted onions look like after rolling them down. And here is my onions. I tried to chop them, finely chop, like mince them as well as I could. I kind of messed up, so it's kind of just like chopped into like a lot of pieces. So hopefully it'll be okay. I'll probably chop it up a little bit more, but that's what it looks like. And then I'm going to saute all the ingredients now, and I'll cut back to that in just a second. So I have all my ingredients here, except for black pepper. I have no clue where it went. I had it, I have no clue where it went. So I'm gonna pour in my, Carlini olive oil, I wanna say. Pouring it onto the frying pan before I heat it up, so that way it doesn't start like sizzling and like popping, like burning me. So here is that, about 3 tablespoons. Maybe a little more, and then I'm gonna pour my onions on, and then I'm gonna saute it in all of this. I'll be back. Mixed in all the dry ingredients. At Walmart they didn't have any fresh basil leaves, so I did 2 teaspoons was the conversion that I found off Google. I did the 1.5 teaspoons of Stone Mill seasoned salt. They didn't have bay leaves either at Walmart, so I got the dried version, and I did about 3 instead of 1 big one. I did my 1/2 teaspoon of organic fennel seeds, 1 teaspoon of red pepper crushed, and I believe it was 1 teaspoon of organic thyme leaves. So those are all mixed in now, and I'm gonna wait for these to soften, and then I'm gonna mix in the diced tomatoes. So I just added my minced garlic. I have this right here, so I did 1/2 teaspoon, or 3 1/2 teaspoons, so 1.5 teaspoons for 3 cloves of garlic. That's the equivalent it gave me on Google. And then I have my diced tomatoes here, 14.5 ounces for both of them. I got 2 right here, and I'm gonna add this into the onions now. Just one. And here is the second one. That's 2. I'm going to mix this in, I'll come back. So I added 1/2 cup to the almond mixture, so I'm going to puree it now until everything is crushed up. So here's what my puree looks like after a while of trying to puree it. It like, I don't have a blender. I tried my best on it. I know it's not perfect. As you can see, I really tried to puree it the best I could, but this is what it looks like. This is the roasted onions, and this is the non-roasted onions. I'm going to add, what's it called? Get my pasta ready, and I'll be back. I'm gonna put my tomatoes in my water, and then I'm just gonna peel them, seed them or deseed them, and then cut them up. Here's my tomatoes. I chopped it and de-seeded it the best I could. I'm gonna zest my lemon, and then I'm also gonna put the vodka into both of these, and then I will be back once I do that. I added my tomatoes into both. There's about 3 tablespoons, or 3 tomatoes in this one, and 3 tablespoons of vodka. This one here, there's probably about like about 1 tomato in there. This is the one I did not have vodka in. So both my sauces are done and my pasta's done. I did not do the fettuccine pasta. I had this one from Aldi's. I've been meaning to eat it for a while, so I thought I'd use it now for this project. Final thoughts on my sauces. So this is the roasted one with vodka. It turned out like pretty well. It's not like 100% pureed, but it turned out like much more pureed than this one. This one I had a little bit more trouble using the roller. I didn't have a blender, but the roller works pretty good for this one. This one I was just having trouble with for some reason. I have no clue why, but I'm gonna taste test both of them now. So I'm gonna try the non-roasted, non-alcohol one first and see how it tastes. Sorry, I'm having trouble getting it. No, it's pretty good. It's just kind of like, this one's just tastes like kind of like regular sauce, and just regular red sauce you buy from the market. Let me try this one now. Oh, that one's pretty good. The vodka roasted one tastes much better than the non-roasted, non-alcoholic one. It definitely has more flavor, and also it's a little bit more pureed, so that also might be why it has more flavor, but I will go into that more when I go over to discuss the science. But overall, I think it was a success. It tastes pretty good. So I'm going to go over the science part of my video now. So for my project, I was testing the difference in taste, texture, and appearance between my sauce with vodka and roasted almonds versus my sauce without vodka and with non-roasted almonds. So to start, the almonds played a role when grounded up. So this was mainly in my non-roasted ones, which had a much better puree. So it was able to mix with the liquids to become a better complex suspension. It helped to thicken my liquid overall with the dry particles and the almond oil. So for the spices also helped to absorb water from the sauce to reduce the amount of liquid. This helped my sauce to increase thickness when the diced tomatoes were added, which had also a lot of water in it, and with my regular tomatoes that were added. And so this helped to thicken up my sauce and absorb some water. This comes from page 624 by McGee. So something quickly I wanted to talk about was my method of pureeing. As you saw, I was using a rolling pin. Not the best method of pureeing, but I did not have a blender, and I looked up on Google what is the best method to puree without a blender and without a mortar and pestle, and a rolling pin was the best I had. So I know it wasn't perfect, so I just wanted to go over that really quickly. So my roasted almonds were able to break down pretty easily when I was grinding them down, but my non-roasted ones had a bit of a harder time breaking down. This is probably pretty obvious, as the almonds were a little bit more brittle after coming out of the oven, and being like in butter, or being butter and like toasted, so they were more brittle and easy to break down. And also, when I tried to puree my sauce later, I kind of covered this in the video, my sauces weren't broken down as easily with the rolling pin. I really tried my best on it, but a lot of it wasn't able to be fully broken down. My vodka sauce did break down much better than my no vodka
No vodka sauce. Okay. So for my tomatoes, I want to talk about the non-diced tomatoes, just the regular tomatoes. The book covered putting an X on the bottom and boiling it for a little bit, or for like, I think it said just for a second, but I looked up like it's a similar method. So it was by Martha Stewart, where she also put an X through it, but she boiled it for about 10 to 15 seconds, and then she put it in cold water. I don't think it was ice water, I believe it was cold water, and this like allowed the skin to peel off really easily, and I found a lot of success with it. It was like really easy to peel off my tomato skins by doing this. And then I was able to, and like I said, I wasn't able to fully puree my tomatoes once I diced them up to the best of my ability, but I feel like I was able to break them down enough to where pectin was able to escape from the cell wall, and it helped to get into my liquid. So as I was saying, the pectin helped to thicken my sauce overall. This is covered on page 623 of McGee. And then lastly, I want to talk about my vodka sauce, or my vodka. So I didn't cover it in the video, but this is the vodka I use. It's called Pearl Vodka. The vodka made a huge difference in my sauce. It added a more intense flavor than the sauce without. I feel it expressed more of a nutty flavor in my sauce with vodka, and it helped to bring out a more intense taste to it. And then this is discussed on page 255, where the alcohol, 255 of by Courier, where the alcohol dissolves and spreads throughout the sauce. My other sauce tasted more like just plain red sauce, and then I want to say this is because it was less pureed than my sauce with alcohol in it. It still had like larger bits of almonds in it, and tomatoes as compared to my one with vodka sauce. So specifically, more grounded almonds can provide a flavorful thickening to the sauce. This is covered on page 255, so I believe that's why my sauce was a little bit more bland than my sauce with vodka in it and non-roasted almonds, because it wasn't able to be broken down as much. Something I wanted to add, which actually I forgot to do, was I believe the sauce would have been thicker if I would have added the sauce into the pasta at the very end and mixed it in for a little bit. I believe this would have made the sauce thicker, as the granules leaking of starch, specifically amylose, would have been able to fishnet and trap pockets of water, which would hence thicken the sauce. Overall, I think my sauce was a success. They both tasted pretty well, although I wasn't able to completely puree it down. And I want to say thank you, Professor, for allowing me extra time to finish my project. I have my grater right here. As you can see, the plastic, or maybe not, the plastic is still on it. I actually cut my finger like on it when I was not even like using it. I was trying to take the plastic off, and I cut my hand on it to have the plastic really tight, and I wasn't able to take it off. So I got one side and I called it. I didn't want to bother with it anymore. Maybe I'll take it off later, but I wanted to say thank you again, Professor.